My first official job as a developer was an internship opportunity that I got with a company called Switch Innovations, and I was only there for about 2 months. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm super excited to be doing another video after what seemed like a couple of weeks, months, I don't know. But anyway, I'm so glad to be back with a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about how I became a software engineer. So basically walk you through the story from beginning of how I got into tech, and kind of explain my motive, my drive, and every other thing that revolves around that to you. I'd just like to wish everyone, all of my subscribers, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance, depending on when I release this video. But I'm so grateful and so happy. I started this channel about 6 months ago, and I've grown to 400 plus subscribers, which is super amazing. Even though I have not been so consistent, I still see the growth, and I'm thankful. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm also very excited about 2020, and I can't wait to see what 2020 has in store for every one of us. Anyway, let's get right into the video. How did I actually find out about software development and everything that revolves around software development? It's a really interesting story to me because I have been the one in the family that's always been inclined to tech. What this means is, remember when you're growing up and then the TV remote is broken or the TV is broken and you're the one trying to find out how to fix it, kind of those kinds of things. And I was lucky enough because I remember when I was around the age of 7 to 13, we had like a computer in the house, and even though I did not know about programming at that point, but I knew that with a computer at home I could do amazing things. So some of the things that I did was actually play games, because yeah, it's really important to do that. I played games. I remember I remember going to Computer Village. So Computer Village is like this market for everything tech, and it was really close to my house then. I remember going there to buy these CDs. So the CDs of different applications, me and my brother, and he majorly just buy games. But I remember buying CorelDRAW and I think Microsoft Word, because we learned how to type. And there is this very interesting one that I remember getting. It's a typing test. I have to look for the name, but it's a typing test kind of tutorial that teaches you how to type fast and effectively. And I can't remember, but I'll find the name and put it somewhere in the description box. And yeah, I remember doing that. It was a really interesting journey for me because while I was doing this, I find it really interesting. I'm always very happy to do it, right? But I did not know that I could actually turn that passion into a career. Fast forward to secondary school, I took computer science as one of my electives. And yeah, we did not really do anything relating to coding while I was in secondary school. The only thing I remember doing was actually going to the computer lab, and we were taught how to work with Microsoft Word. And at that point I already knew these things. And also when I was in junior secondary school, I remember we had like this long 3-month break. My dad enrolled me in a computer school where I learned how to work with CorelDRAW and a couple of other things at that point, but yet I still did not know about programming. So it's a very funny thing because I only knew about programming till I was in my university. So it's actually funny. I actually wish that I knew about it before my university. It would have been great. Anyway, it was a really interesting journey for me. So I opted to study computer science, even though I did not know what I would do with that degree. I just wanted to study computer science. The funny thing was, in my head, after my university, I would come out and I'll work for MTN, Glo, or one of those companies, telecom companies, because that was the dream, right? But I did not know something else was actually waiting for me, and because I think I got wiser while I was in school, even though I did not have as much opportunities for learning as I have now, but it was a different journey entirely. So when I got into the uni, I kind of started learning about programming, because we took courses on Java, C++, C Sharp, and other Python. I don't think I did Python, but I did Pascal while I was in 100 level. So that was when I got introduced into computer science, computer programming, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, this is something I would like to do, even though I was still actually doing math and physics. But anyway, it was really interesting. So I went for my IT and I got introduced to web development, HTML and CSS. I remember building up websites, and I was so excited. It was the best time of my life. I would stay up with my very small laptop. Back then my laptop was, this, so they had this mini laptops. They don't make those again, but I had this HP mini laptop that would literally heat up when I run too many things at the same time. So I had this laptop that I was using to learn how to code, and it was really funny because I couldn't do so much. I remember it having issues at that point, but I still tried. I still did all these things. So after my IT, I went back to school. I then continued learning on my own. I remember getting books on web development and reading up. And for my final year project, when I was in final year, I was given a topic that I had to build a website for it, and I did that all by myself, and I was very happy because this was something that I did not know about, and I literally learned myself. Because, to be very honest, while I was in school, it was basically just theory. I would go to class and they would tell you we invented Java, what Java is, the syntax of Java, and that is it. But it was a bit funny because it would be until the end of the semester that you get to actually do practical things. So if you don't actually have the zeal to learn, or if you don't actually go back to learn on your own, you won't have the knowledge you're supposed to have as a computer scientist or as computer engineer, depending on which one you studied. But anyway, it was really exciting for me. I did all those on my own. I was very, very passionate about it. So when I finished from my uni, I finished my degree, and in Nigeria there is this one year compulsory service year that you have to serve your country. It's called NYSC. So I was posted to a different state entirely. I've never been there. It's called Plateau State, and the journey was not smooth. I won't lie to you, the journey was not very smooth, because I remember I already knew HTML and CSS and a bit of JavaScript at the point before I graduated, but procrastination and failure to be very, very, very intentional was my problem. So I did this thing where I told myself that for the 1 year that I would be serving, I would also dedicate time to learn on the side. At that point I was actually learning PHP and Laravel. So I did this thing where I would learn for 3 months, and then for another 3 months I won't touch programming or I won't touch code. So it was this on and off relationship with programming, and to be honest, it's not healthy, because you would get to a point where you're actually trying to learn and you're already understanding the concepts of it. Like, you have to go back again and start from the beginning. So it was a very good experience for me for that period. So, and it was really challenging as well, because balancing everything I was doing. I was a teacher, I was teaching computer science, I was also doing extra lessons. So I had people that I was teaching after school, 3 families that have to go to their houses. So coming back, I have to learn, it was balancing everything was a bit difficult for me at that point. But to be very honest, I should have done better. That's that's an honest review or honest feedback for myself. I should have worked harder, but no regrets, no regrets. So after my service year, I came back to Lagos. I started looking out for a new job that would allow me work and learn, because I felt like I did not have enough work experience to find. I mean, it's one thing I really like about the tech industry is you don't need to have as much experience. You just need to know how to actually do the work. So at the point, I was pretty comfortable with HTML, CSS, a bit of JavaScript, a bit of PHP as well. So I went on to look for a job. My first official job as a developer was an internship opportunity that I got with a company called Switch Innovations, and I was only there for about 2 months. Then after that, I moved on to a different organization, also working as an intern, and I spent about 8 months to 9 months there. From an intern, I was promoted to being a developer, a full-time developer at the company. So what I did was I worked a lot with PHP. At the point they were using CodeIgniter in the code base, so I had to level up on that. I was also working on the front end part of the application, which used Angular 1, and some parts also used jQuery, HTML and CSS. It was a great learning experience for me, because for me, I had an opportunity to work with real world projects as well as learn on the side. So that was my first year in tech. I pretty much worked as an intern for about a total of 6 months, and also a developer, junior developer role. And after doing that, while I was also doing that, I felt like I needed to be more comfortable with JavaScript. I wanted to learn more about JavaScript, because I felt like I did not know as much as I should. So what I did was I joined the 100 Days of Code community. 100 Days of Code is a community for developers or newbies, in fact for anybody trying to learn or level up a skill. And basically what you do is you commit to learn a particular language or whatever you want to learn in a period of 100 days. So every day you either code for a maximum of 1 hour to number of hours you prefer. And I did that for 3 months and a couple of weeks. I did it for 100 days, right? I completed the challenge, and it was really exciting for me. From the challenge, I got to meet so many people. I became active on Twitter. I did a lot of things during that period, and at the end of the whole challenge, I was able to see how I've grown in terms of my ability and knowledge with JavaScript over the last couple of months. So it was really exciting. I would really love to do it again. I would really love to do the challenge again. But moving on, after doing that, I got a job as an open source contributor. I was not a maintainer. I got a job as an open source contributor, working on a Hugo based team, with a remote team, right? So I made contributions to Signal, that is what it was called. I did that for a year, and after that I joined Andela. So Andela is currently where I work, and it's been, so far I would say it's been 2.5 years since I have been officially professionally coding. But I picked it up while I was still in school, but I wasn't doing it professionally at that point. So yeah, I currently work at Andela as a software engineer, and so far, looking back at my journey and where I am, I would say it's been amazing. Even though there have been ups and downs, it wasn't a smooth journey. I mean, one thing I know about software engineering career, about your software engineering career, is you have to be learning. Like, you have to continuously build yourself. Always be learning, always be teaching. Like, one thing that I've learned that works for me is when I teach what I learn, I find out that I learn better that way. I do a lot of technical content and the rest of that, but anyway, that's out of it. But my overall journey up to this moment has been successful in terms of me always trying to be better than I am. I try not to compare myself to others, but I compare myself to my previous self, meaning that I look at where I was like 6 months ago and where I am now, and see the places that I would need to improve on and work on that. So I believe that I'm still a work in progress. I am still developing myself, and I'm super happy to be in a career where you can actually grow while you can actually learn as you grow. It's not like other field, right? I don't know if you get what I mean, but it is really exciting, and I'm super happy and excited about 2020, what I get to learn, how I grow, and every other thing that revolves around my career progression. So that is basically how I became an engineer, software developer, front-end. I don't really pay too much attention to titles, but what I call myself right now is software engineer. I basically work on softwares, which is true. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I became a software engineer, and I'm really thankful for my journey up to this moment, and I look forward to growing more and being better than I am right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions regarding your career as a software engineer, or any specific questions, you can reach out to me through the comment sections. You can put your message or your questions on the comment section, or you can also send me a DM on Twitter. I'll leave my handle somewhere in the description box so you can easily reach me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.